So this year I featured this product from an Indian designer called Siddhant Patnaik. This was basically like a Google version of the AirPods Max, and people resonated with it so much that it ended up getting its own segment on Marquis Brownlee's Waveform podcast, sorry, and millions of views, hundreds and thousands of views on that podcast, as well as our website. And this isn't new because I have done this for Yanko Design as well. I've created my own concepts, foldable phones, and weird patent related concepts that I've done for Yanko Design, and they've been featured on Tom's Guide, Unbox Therapy. There is an Apple Pencil that docks inside a MacBook that's still on Forbes, and they've just gathered loads and loads of views. So the point that at least I'm very proud of is that we've realized that people aren't necessarily fond of great products. They're also fond of great ideas. And a lot of these ideas resonate with people on such a massive level that they actually ended up creating demand. So this is one product that still I see people making reels on. It's like a color detection sensor inside the Apple Pencil. I've seen reels on it and reels showing Yanko Design spades. So it's great to see that people realize that they want something just because an idea has been fleshed out.
Wow.
I don't only design for my clients. I also tell them that, you know what, hey, I believe in my design so much that I'm going to invest in my own design. Sometimes concepts are so much more exciting than reality.
Correct.
Ideas are cheap, execution is tough. Don't wait necessarily, execute as fast as possible, and then figure out, the fastest way to, or the most effective way to
Amplify.
get that idea out in stages, because someone will absolutely beat you to it. Something that I have also learned is that, holding your cards close to the chest and not sharing those ideas with anybody doesn't benefit anybody.
Correct.
Share those ideas as much as you can. Protect your IP if you need to. A pencil sketch has to be incredibly good as an idea to sort of, translate into a massive success. Whereas a really, really well-made render does a much easier, like it has a much easier path ahead of it. In the age of AI, a lot of things are getting challenged, but there is such granular control with your 3D rendering that it really, really makes a difference. And it can absolutely push a concept over that 10% that is required to convince people.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Design Mindset. I'm Radhika Seth. Today, we are tackling a truth most design schools never teach. That's being a great designer and being a recognized designer are completely different skill sets. The bridge between them, design media. Sarang Sheth, editor-in-chief of Yanko Design, who's watched firsthand how a single article can catapult careers, generate millions in revenues, and completely change a designer's trajectory. Today's conversation is brought to you by KeyShot, our consistent sponsor, and the 3D rendering software that's become essential for design professionals across the world. When you're competing for media attention with thousands of other designers, KeyShot's photorealistic rendering capabilities help create the visual impact that separates your work from the crowd, because today's oversaturated design world, your presentation often determines whether your work gets noticed at all. Access the full trial today at keyshot.com/mindset. Sarang has the receipts on what design publicity actually does for careers. So let's dive in. Sarang, welcome to the talk today and thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you.
So
Nice to be
tell
here finally.
yes, finally. So let me start with this most dramatic examples that you have shared over here with us. Tell me about a design, or a designer whose life completely has changed after being featured on Yanko Design.
Um, there are two sorts of examples that I'll give. The
Mm,
first example, maybe a slightly niche example, but it's my own example
mm,
because I realized what a viable career option this was when my work got featured on Yanko Design. So I graduated in 2014
uh-huh,
and I spent like 9 months looking for a job, looking abroad because I wanted to go abroad.
uh-huh,
Didn't get a job abroad, but did get featured on Yanko Design.
mm,
And luckily I had made my own website so I could see the stats.
Ah,
And I would see, like, I'm sending portfolios out to these companies and I'm getting like 5 views a day, 3 views
ah,
a day.
ah.
So I knew that these people were checking their mails and at least looking through my work.
Correct.
But then I sent work to Yanko Design and it was written by Troy Turner at the time.
Uh-huh.
And suddenly I saw like 300 views on my website and like
Wow.
450 views. And I was like, okay, that's a significant jump.
Uh-huh.
And those stats allowed me to look at like, granular data. I could see like views coming in from Turkey and Croatia and UK. And I was like, this is incredible because A, I didn't pay for it.
Uh-huh.
B, there was no extra work for me. All I had to do was share it with someone who was willing to talk about it.
Correct.
Uh, at the same time, I read the article and I realized that this is something I can actually do. And
Mm.
this is also something that I've learned along the way. There's this really, really good documentarian called Gary Hustwit.
Uh-huh.
He's made documentaries on Dieter Rams. He's made documentaries on Apple. He's made documentaries on the Helvetica font. And he was basically an industrial designer who also graduated and realized that his calling wasn't industrial design, it was storytelling.
Um,
Uh, so that sort of resonated with me. And whenever I introduce myself as, you know how they say a picture is worth 1,000 words?
Correct.
Say that I'm the guy who writes those 1,000 words.
Ah, okay.
So a lot of designers are so involved with creating products that they forget sometimes that the products sort of need context and explanations.
Yeah.
So that's been our journey, that's been my journey to sort of help those products get digested by vast audiences.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, the second example would be of, I think you would know this best, like there's quite a few Kickstarter projects that come to us and they're like, we started off as young designers and we got featured on Yanko Design and now we want to do a Kickstarter project. Uh,
Yeah.
I still have one of the products. I remember buying it. It was a three-part calendar that you could, stick on your wall.
Yes,
And
I
one of
remember
those
that.
dry erase calendars.
Correct.
But ended up sticking it on my wall because I'm renting an apartment and I keep moving. So those dry erase calendars are still there eventually when I need to. And it was a perennial calendar. You can use it at any year.
Wow.
So that was one product. There's so many of these products where these guys are like, you know what? I used to read Yanko Design as a young designer, and
Ah,
it's amazing to know that they see others being featured, and then something in their brain clicks, and they're like, oh, even I want to be featured. And it's not as difficult as winning an award. An award is so much harder. You're actually competing, but here it's like we write what 15, 17 articles a day. The
yeah,
competition is much lower and the stakes are like
really.
through the roof.
Yeah, so that's incredible. But I want to be a little bit specific about the mechanics with you. So, what happens or what can a designer anticipate, after the first 48 hours of a design being featured on Yanko Design? So, walk me through the ripple effect that happens.
The ripple effect can be twofold.
Hmm.
First ripple effect is usually you're just a spectator to what is happening, and second is that ripple is strong enough to be a wave and you ride the wave.
Hmm.
Not many people usually follow the second, but it's important to also realize that. So when the ripple effect and you're just a spectator, you're just seeing that, this work has been shared here, this work has been shared there. You take a screenshot, you put it on your LinkedIn, you put it on your Instagram, and that's about it.
Hmm.
The second is like imagine Yanko Design features your work and you realize that hey, if Yanko Designs featured my work, maybe Design Boom will feature my work.
Hmm.
Maybe Hype Beast will feature my work. Maybe one of the other magazines will feature my work. So then you create a press kit,
Hmm.
high resolution images. You share it as many places as you can. You try to, engage other editors and say that, hey, I've been featured here. If you want to apply for a design award, you leverage Yanko Design's article and say, ki, hey, I have some amount of credibility.
Hmm.
That is something that nobody's taught anybody, but that becomes common sense when you realize that the
Hmm.
numbers game it's a game. It's
Hmm.
not a movie. You don't watch a movie. You watch a
Yeah.
movie, but you play the game. So
Yeah.
I hope to see more people, leverage the coverage in a more meaningful way.
Yeah.
And whoever's, like, looking at a Yanko Design article and being like, hey, maybe I could tweet it out to Marcus Brownlee, and if Marcus Brownlee likes it and sees it on Twitter, he'll talk about it on his podcast.
Correct.
That I think is a brilliant way. Nothing really loves Yanko Design because they could repeatedly showcase the concepts that we've featured on their YouTube channel.
Wow.
So
Okay.
if you're a designer and you really want to get eyeballs on your work, do a nothing concept. We'll feature it, and I'm pretty sure the nothing YouTube page will talk about it at some point in time.
You know what you're just talking about? It's not just exposure, it's like building credibility. You,
Absolutely.
and so tell me, how does that credibility translate into actual business opportunities?
I wouldn't know precisely because I have never translated into a business opportunity.
Hmm.
But I do recognize that being featured, winning a design award,
Hmm.
all of these lead to much larger opportunities where you get to network with people. I think a
Hmm.
design award has tried stuff like that. Design Intelligence Award actively,
Hmm.
puts you in the room with potential investors and all that. So that's not necessarily our job. Our job is to, spread the seed.
Hmm.
But then again, there are a lot of organizations that do that where, investors come on board. And you've spoken to Robert Brunner. I remember having a conversation with him, and he's like, I don't only design for my clients. I also tell them that, you know what, hey, I believe in my design so much that I'm going to invest in my own design.
Correct.
Designers can't do that, but young designers should also recognize that, look for investors and stuff like that. A
You know,
lot of people reading
hmm.
YD articles could be potential investors. A lot of people, in fact, like they message me on Gmail saying, I would like to buy this product. And I'm like, I did not design this product. Let me take you to the designer.
Yeah. Yeah, no, so see, I recognize business opportunity over here, to be very frank. And I remember back in the days when I used to write at Yanko Design. Yes, I used to write. So at that time we had
He hired me.
yeah. Yeah, so back in the day, I remember featuring this watch. I'm sure you must be remembering it also, Sarang. It was called the Zero Watch. It is designed by this designer called Robert Darby. And I think there was this guy called David Yep or something like that. Some Hongkonese person. He got in touch with me and he asked, how do I get in touch with Robert Darby? And they had discovered this particular watch on Yanko Design, which had then gone on to Gizmodo and Gadget and all the other media companies and everything. And today, if you go and see Zero Watch, is such a beautiful watch. It's become such a glowing business.
It's a massive company. Yeah.
Yeah, it's become a very big name also. So I remember these kind of business opportunities, and this is before the days where you could tweet or you could follow somebody on Instagram and just directly reach out. So many of these cases are lost in translation because simply we don't, information is accessible so freely and it's so easy to reach out to people. But back in the days when we used to do this, we were the only point of communication. So people would come to us and ask us, how do we get in touch? And I remember getting these two people in touch and this becoming a successful business. Yeah. So,
I
like,
think
yeah,
a lot
sorry.
of us sort of assume that algorithms will do that for you now.
Yeah,
Will
yeah,
take you to the right people. And what I tell people is that, nobody knows, nobody can predict an algorithm. So design media or any sort of media still plays a very pivotal role in achieving that, targeted effort of uniting
yeah.
potential buyers, potential investors, potential co-founders, stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah. So although we may not have a number on it, but I do believe that, having, being mentioned in international media, you have manufacturers reaching out and
Absolutely.
they actually want to license out deals or partnerships. I'm sure you must have, had such requests come your way as well. So how often do these happen or have you experienced it?
Licensing?
Yeah.
I mean, I usually like guide these people to the designers, and then I don't really follow up, although I should sort of,
Yeah.
having those case studies is very important. But I would say like every week I get one or two mails saying, "Hey, I like this product. I would like to buy it." And I'm like, I appreciate that, but A, I'm not the designer, and B, let me just link you to the designer. And a lot of times they're concepts, which validates the fact that sometimes concepts are so much more exciting than reality.
Correct.
And ideas are cheap, execution is tough. But something that I have also learned is that holding your cards close to the chest and not sharing those ideas with anybody doesn't benefit anybody.
Correct.
Share those ideas as much as you can.
Hmm.
Protect your IP if you need to. That is not a conversation that I am familiar with. That's not my vocabulary.
Mhm.
But maybe we should sort of, maybe you can actually bring some legal expert on the podcast next to just talk about,
Yeah.
intellectual property and patenting and copyright and stuff like that. But yeah, that's actively something that people do reach out saying that, hey, I like this product. And I'm like, yeah, it is a concept. I'm so sorry to shatter your reality, but I also wish I could buy the product.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So now getting featured is just one path to recognition. What about awards like Red Dot or the IF Design Awards or the Good Design Awards? How do these compare to media features in terms of actual career impact?
So I wrote it down somewhere. I'm going to try to remember what I wrote down. But I'm like, the difference between all of these
Mm.
and design media is that design media still, for the most part, is completely free.
Mm.
And it's also merit based rather than, luck or nepotism based.
Mm.
Uh, there are a few ways to get noticed. One is not get noticed, but rather establish yourself. There is, you either win an award
Mm.
or you go abroad to study,
Mm.
or you sort of, pitch to investors and stuff like that, or you get featured on design media. All of these are ways to, sort of get your idea to as many people as possible or get your talents to as many people as possible. But going abroad to network or to study is expensive.
Mm.
Uh, People, at least in India, know that visas are hard to come by right now.
Correct.
And I'm saying people in India because I do believe that we have a lot of talent and our talent doesn't get showcased on the global stage a lot. Winning an awards is also expensive because you have to sort of, the awards are not a charity, they are a business, so they will need some funds. Winning an award is expensive. It's also highly merit and luck based.
Mm.
Luck because someone else could also have a similar design in the same category, and then even though your idea is great, it's being
Yeah.
slightly overshadowed by someone else's slightly better idea. But then again, obviously, merit also plays a very important role. Design media does not have that threshold or that limiting factor. We don't charge money for student concepts and stuff like that. The way our model works is very different. I'm sure you know about it. But by and large, we don't say that, hey, you need to pay us a certain sum of money because your idea is great and we want to monetize it as possible. No. If you're a student, if you're a young designer, if you've got work that is worth showcasing, I would love to do it, and I will not even as much as talk about money. In fact, I will try to make sure that you monetize it as much as possible.
Mm.
Uh, but yeah, design media is effective. It's free, and there are way more design outlets than there are design awards.
Mm.
So your ability to reach as many people as possible through a design media company is much higher. I can name like 20 design magazines, but I can't name 20 design awards. So that's basically how I see it.
That's fascinating, because we often cover awards on award winners on Yanko Design too, right? So there's this multiplier effect, if you can say. So you win an
Absolutely.
award, then you get media coverage about winning that award because we are the media
Yeah.
partners for so many design competitions.
Plus, there is so much credibility in the jury that
Yeah,
selects these
correct.
winning entries, right? So it's our way of, validating the award because we also believe in the jury that is sitting on the award panel.
Correct, correct. Yeah. So, in comparison, what about crowdfunding? Like, we've covered some incredible Kickstarter and Indiegogo campaigns here on Yanko Design. So, how does that path compare for designers looking to build recognition and business simultaneously? Because here you're not looking at free exposure, this is like concentrated business, So tell me about this path.
Um, so I personally have never really gone down the crowdfunding route,
Mhm.
but I know a lot of designers who have, and the reason I believe it's a great idea is because a JPEG doesn't benefit anybody's life, first of all. Second of all, when you share work on a design website, you also slightly run the risk of someone else uh, copying your idea, for example. And that has happened a lot. Like I've seen a lot of people whose designs do get plagiarized, and you can't stop that. But what you can do is preempt that.
Mm,
And you preempt that by, making a prototype, seeing if it's feasible for production, and then the best way to test your idea is to validate it through demand, not through clicks.
mm,
Uh, so when you're going down the consumer route or the crowdfunding route, it's the highest form of design skill validation
mm,
because you're not getting clicks, you're not getting a job, you're setting up a company that is solely focused around your product.
mm,
So the people who look at the product and are like, I believe in that vision, those are the people who are jumping on board. And that is the best way to,
mm,
put that stamp of approval on your product being a good idea. And I've seen so many of these designers who've done that, small time designers, but they've sometimes struggled because manufacturing for 1,000 people versus manufacturing for 20,000 people is a completely different ball game. Plus, supply chain and the pandemic really messed a lot of design projects and crowdfunding projects. But that validation really came in the form of money, which is so much more effective than double tapping an Instagram post and liking it.
mm. Yeah.
I definitely encourage a lot of designers to look at that as a viable way because as a design student, 5 years I spent in design college, I came up with probably 20 ideas
Mm-hmm.
based on my course material.
Mm,
To say that not even one of those 20 ideas could go and become like a successful-ish company, not a like a multi-million dollar company, but successful-ish company, uh, means I don't believe in my own skill set. I actually should. Like I literally got a job on Yanko Design because of a product that featured on Yanko Design.
correct.
I did get approached by someone who represented Hans Grohe,
Mm-hmm.
but then again, talks fell apart. This was really long back.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but they were genuinely interested in, sort of like patenting my idea for me and stuff like that. And if that had happened, that would have been a really great case study. But I was just a young designer out of college and I didn't really have the technical know-how to navigate that discussion. But it happens to everybody, man. You spend your entire college life doing hundreds and hundreds of tiny, tiny projects.
Mm-hmm.
At least one of those can become a really good company. So put it to crowdfunding. It shouldn't be that difficult.
And that's where Yanko Design also comes into play. We feature almost 300 projects across our platform over the year. So that's a lot, many projects that go out on Yanko Design. Yeah.
And so
And you
many
know,
of these companies come back.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. And one of the things that I notice is, this is where presentation becomes absolutely crucial again. When I see that the designs that really grab attention, whether it's an award submission or a crowdfunding campaign, they have often used stunning KeyShot renders, and that makes the concepts look like really good finished products that are ready for market. And the materials look real, the lighting is perfect, the packers or the judges, can immediately envision what the final product looks like, So, Sarang, how much does that level of professional presentation influence the success across all these platforms?
What gets seen gets sold.
Yes, correct.
And humans, even though we're multisensory, we're highly visual creatures.
Hmm.
So, a pencil sketch could convey an idea,
Hmm.
but a pencil sketch has to be incredibly good as an idea to sort of, translate into a massive success. Whereas a really, really well-made render does a much easier, like it has a much easier path ahead of it. Um I could either make like a tiny sketch on my iPad, or I could model it out and 3D render it on KeyShot, and I can guaranteed tell you that those rendered visuals will
Hmm.
perform better on Yanko Design as compared to a flat 2D visual. That is not me being partial towards rendering. That is just the algorithm telling us what works and what doesn't work. So yeah, I mean, in the age of AI, a lot of things are getting challenged, but there is such granular control with your 3D rendering that it really, really makes a difference. And it can absolutely push a concept over that 10% that is required to convince people.
Okay, so you've essentially created careers through Yanko Design's coverage. And I literally mean that because I've seen that happen. But it's not just about featuring products anymore. Okay, so walk me through the different ways in which YD helps designers build recognition.
um the way I see it is our multi-channel approach.
Mhm.
Right? We've got the blog, we've got Instagram, we've got Pinterest, we've got Twitter, we've got LinkedIn, we've got Facebook, we've got our newsletter.
Mm.
Uh,
You got
and
YouTube.
we've got YouTube also now, sorry. Uh, and we've been very fortunate to also realize that everywhere the audience is different.
Yeah.
So Instagram really, really likes a certain set of designs versus the blog liking a certain set of designs versus Pinterest liking a certain set of designs. So the way I see it is we've got incredible diversity, and regardless of what your concept is, what your project is, there are multiple ways that Yanko Design can sort of
Mm.
get you to reach the audience that you're looking to reach. Uh,
Mm.
Maybe sometime in the future when secret projects come to life, those uh, eyeballs will also include potential investors, will include jury members, could also include employers, uh, employers being probably the most important.
Yeah.
But right now it is just an audience, and maybe sometime in the future that audience will also be a lot more structured in a way that will absolutely revolutionize how design is shared.
So I know we also do, designer spotlights. Sometimes we feature portfolios also, and we definitely help with product launches and the campaigns that are there. How strategic should designers be about building relationships with design media outlets?
There's no downside to it, right?
Mm. Correct.
There is absolutely no downside to being friends with someone from Yanko Design because I mean, it's not easy to find great design on the internet because the algorithm takes you everywhere now.
Mm.
I mean, it is easy, but your design can sort of get lost.
Mm.
There is a very high chance that unless I'm following you on Instagram, I might not see your work.
Mm.
The easiest way to bypass that is to send me your work. And
Correct.
if you want to sort of, like add Yanko Design and DM us, if you want to sort of, ask us for our email ID and then, just keep us in your mail chain, it absolutely benefits you. There are completely no downsides to it.
Mm.
Sure, sometimes we determine whether a product is worth featuring or not.
Mm.
uh, we'll sometimes reject a product because you know what, hey, also we need to write about things that get us views because that determines our revenue. We're
Mm.
not running a charity here either, so we will choose a project that is likely to get thousands and thousands of views, and we have our own ways to justify that. So
Mm.
sometimes some projects we are like, you know what, hey, not this time, maybe refine a little better and come back.
Mm.
If designers come to us with 2D sketches, we're like, hey, you know what, render it out and then bring it back to us. We'd love to feature it then. But otherwise, there is absolutely no downside. You should have at least five or six media contacts in your
Yeah.
constant, your outreach
Yeah. Correct. Correct. Because see, Yanko Design reaches out to millions globally. But how does,
per month.
yeah, per month. So how does international exposure specifically change opportunities for designers compared to just local recognition?
Local recognition has very little. positive impact.
Hmm.
Local recognition is like winning best dancer within your society. It
Yeah.
does nothing. Or
Hmm.
best Casio player within your society ka talent show. It does nothing.
Hmm.
When my work, my first project was featured on Yanko Design, I told you, right? I had the
Yeah.
stats. I could look and see that random people from, like I said, Croatia and from Japan were seeing my work.
Yeah.
And the way I see it is that A, these people can be buyers.
Hmm.
B, these people can be investors or co-founders.
Correct.
C, these people can be employers.
Hmm.
So it's
Correct.
very important. Again, when I say share your work with us, share your work on design competitions, somebody on the jury
Hmm.
could be a prospective employer.
Correct.
Uh, when you share it on Yanko Design, somebody who's looking to hire somebody with your skill set could see your work.
Yeah.
And that's not necessarily going to happen on a local scale, that the chances of that, just by virtue of sheer mathematics,
Yeah.
increases on a global scale.
Yeah.
And someone did reach out to me in my DMs.
Hmm.
I absolutely forgot to reply to them. I absolutely should. But they're applying for a visa abroad to do a master's or a PhD.
Hmm.
And their work has been featured on Yanko Design. So they reached out to me and said, hey, you know what you wrote about my work? Could you
Hmm.
write a small testimonial that would help with my visa process? And I'm like, absolutely. Give me all the details and I'll be more than happy to do it for you.
I remember, I'm sorry, I'm going to interrupt you. I remember this guy reaching out to me on Facebook years ago, and I remember reaching out to you, and he was applying for his visa to go to the US to study higher studies. And there was an article that we had already published, which was a red dot winning article, and he needed his name to be upgraded or some modification in that. And he had a new project also. And I remember it was some 2 o'clock in the morning over here, India time. And I reached out to you and I said, can you write this? Because he has a early morning 8 o'clock appointment. You said that,
I kind of remember this.
yeah, you said only if the work is good enough will I feature it. And it was really good. And you featured it. And he took that printout of that particular article and he submitted it to, the visa officer. And he was flying out to the US. And he did get his, his admission or
Yes.
whatever, his visa and everything. I'm like, it went out smoothly. But I still remember this has happened to us in the past, where people have reached out, hey, can you do this for us? And we've gone out our way and done it like, quick turnaround time. And, or when brands, they're doing campaigns with us and they come out with a special request. And, a quick turnaround is what we have done for
And the
them.
global turnaround, na, as
Yes,
opposed to the
yes,
local
yes.
turnaround.
So this brings me to my next question. What about the timing aspect? Should designers be thinking about award submissions, media outreach, crowdfunding launches, as coordinated campaigns rather than separate efforts? How do you think they should be approaching this?
Uh, Coordinated is really good.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is that and I've faced this a lot, okay, I have a lot of regrets, but when I wait for the right time to execute on an idea, sometimes I open Red Dot and I see that that idea has just this year already won. And I'm like, damn it, I waited a little too long. Uh, I had an idea, and no point talking about it now, but I had an idea of switchboards that are in the shape of the room that they are in. And that way the switches are placed identically where the fan would be, where the light would be. So you don't know what switch you're pressing otherwise. But with this switchboard, you kind of have like a visual map that what this corner there's a switch over here, and over there in that corner there's a fan. So
Yeah.
it just makes sense that way. And I had that idea, and I remember a red dot, like a guy won that for a red dot concept, and I was like, damn it, I could have absolutely. So don't wait necessarily, execute as fast as possible, and
Uh,
then figure out, the fastest way to, or the most effective way to get
Amplified.
that idea out in stages, because someone will absolutely beat you to it.
I remember, notice that some of our successful designer relationships have started, just with a single product feature. And then they've evolved into an award coverage and then crowdfunding support and eventually a designer spotlight. So I just feel this is very important to see this kind of progression in career building. And I remember there was a site called, I think Quirky it was called, where they would build the product if they liked the innovation that they had
Yeah,
done.
there was that, and there was this also. Do you remember this Dr. Ken Na,
Yeah,
K
Dr.
Design? He also had something that was similar, where they would, invite people to submit their projects, and
Yeah. Yeah,
I
Professor
think it
Ken.
was quirky, but I'm forgetting.
Yeah, Quirky was that website in the US, I think, where you had
It's been a while. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I had seen actually some product that had come as a concept design to us, then it went on Quirky, it got made. This is before crowdfunding
Probably
days.
like 5, 6 years back. Very, very pre-pandemic.
Yeah, and it was before even crowdfunding had become a buzzword. So that was the
Um,
place, and then it became either you go on Quirky or you go on Kickstarter, which would be better. But that was a more controlled community. Guys, if, whoever is listening to us, if you correct me if I'm wrong, I think it was Quirky, but yeah. So the point being, I remember this Tumblr coming to me as a concept design, which had these, little hubs or knobs on it. So you could invert it and drive one on top of the other. It was a stacking
okay.
Tumblr set. So it was first, it was a concept design, which a student design, which I had discovered on Behance. Then that went on to win both the IF as well as the Red Dot Award. Then it went on to Quirky. Then, slowly his entire portfolio came to us and we featured it. And now he's got a successful business out of it. So that's how I've seen progression happen. And I think it's really, really important for career building.
This also happened with this, and this product, the success of this product will show you how success is also a double-edged sword. But do you remember this hang balancing lamp?
Yes.
This
Yes,
ellipse
yes,
shaped lamp
yes,
with those two
yes,
beads and they
yes, yes,
magnetically
yes,
hover.
yes.
That became so successful that that guy got absolutely plagiarized. Like
Ah,
he's making a lot of money,
yeah,
without a doubt. But there are also a lot of like, and you'll notice that the frauds are not as good as the original, because the
absolutely.
original guy obsesses on making sure that the interaction is perfect.
Yeah.
The frauds are never like that.
Yeah.
But
So,
that also started as a project that I wrote about.
yes,
I went
correct.
to one of these platforms. I think it went to Kenna's platform, or
No,
it
no, no. It went to Alcolac. So Coca-Cola backwards, it's a Denmark Nest Ideas or something. We've Design Nest.
Design Nest.
Gone to Design.
Design Nest.
Correct, correct. So it's gone to Design Nest. And interestingly, I have a cousin in India over here who does gifting, and he is retailing the hang lamp here. So when I saw it, I was like, how do you know about the hang lamp? And he's like, no, it's there. Like, I sourced from Design Nest and everything. I said, do you know what? We worked with Design Nest for many, many years.
This was, yeah, I mean, I feel like
I
we
get
helped that
goosebumps.
design go and design.
So much of fun. Oh my God.
It's
So, okay.
insane how there's a weird little circle.
Yeah, the world is so small, when
It
it
is
comes to design.
absolutely.
So when I go, a lot of people, if you go to MoMA store and or even if you go to the Muji store and you feel, I've seen this design somewhere. It's on Yanko Design.
We've been around for what, 23 years now?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So then just sheer probability determines that a lot of
Yeah.
stuff has been covered.
Yeah. And especially if it's won an award, it definitely has been curated
Absolutely,
over here
absolutely.
on Yanko Design. Yeah. So, okay, Sarang, before we move on to the challenge,
What challenge?
yeah. What's the single biggest strategic mistake you see designers make when trying to build recognition across multiple platforms?
Them thinking that their one design should work everywhere. Like a lot of people come to us with projects and they're like, oh, I want it featured on Yanko Design. And I'm like, hey, it's a great idea, but this is not Yanko material.
Uh-huh.
Uh, you don't expect Quentin Tarantino to direct a rom-com. You don't expect
Correct.
Alia Bhatt to do martial arts. There are certain stereotypes. Similarly, Yanko Design has, I'm not going to say a stereotype, but we do have a language,
Yeah.
an ethos, a design language. And a lot of times the design is great, but it doesn't fit that language. So then I tell them, you know what?
Mm.
This is a little too technical for our Yanko Design readers, so maybe you go to this website.
Yeah.
So understanding what goes where is important. Like bring architecture to Yanko Design, absolutely, but take it to the other architecture websites first.
Yeah.
There is a higher likelihood you'll get featured there. There's a higher likelihood you'll reach the audience that you need to over there. And that is the point. If I feature it just because I like the design, doesn't achieve what you're looking out to achieve. You want it to reach the right audience. And
Correct.
it's my job to tell you that, hey, we don't have that right audience in the right numbers for you. It'll be a small niche.
Mm.
So when you're submitting design works, also realize that, each design blog or each design platform has its own visual
Mm.
ethos, has its own direction, has its own strengths.
Yeah.
That's the most effective way. Like you won't go trying to plant a mango in winter.
Correct.
As simple as that.
I like to believe that our audience that we have are design enthusiasts. So they are not only designers, but they also design consumers, because I have
Absolutely. Yeah.
seen so many campaigns, that Kickstarter campaigns or the Indiegogo campaigns that we feature, bring in so much of revenue for the campaigners, because
Absolutely. Yeah.
because our audience really likes. And one of the crazy niche that I think that, I don't know why it happens, but is EDC. Everyday carry things does so exceptionally well on Yanko Design, and always in awe of that.
I
Like,
think I've got some of them also.
for me, an EDC used to be just the Swiss Army knife, back in the day. But now my mind has opened up to so many kind of EDCs.
Here is one, not EDC, more AI, but the plod.
Yeah, yeah.
I absolutely live and die by this. Then there's
Uh,
this that I haven't written about, but we've written, like we've featured. This is basically, it's called the crush metric bottle.
oh,
And when you, wait, it's gonna blur, but when you open it,
oh
the bottle
wow.
takes on this texture.
Yeah,
And when you close it, the bottle becomes flat again. So like these are things that fascinate us also. We're not writing because, hey, it'll just excite the reader. A lot of our write-ups also come from a place of excitement, and that just translates to the readers.
yeah,
So
yeah.
EDC, yeah, I think the writers that we have genuinely love some of the EDC that we write about. So there's a lot of passion in our writing.
Yeah, EDC is good, and I think even Tiny Homes does so well.
Tiny Homes does, except like this is not my domain because we have another writer that writes about tiny homes, but we've seen some great interest in tiny homes.
So now this brings me to the most exciting part, Sarang. We have something known as the Design Mindset Challenge. So I'm going to give you a very hypothetical situation, and very little time for you to think through, and
Okay.
we will give you some solutions for this hypothetical situation.
Okay.
Okay, so here's the scenario. Imagine a talented designer has created an innovative product and wants to maximize their recognition and business potential. So they have the budget and time to pursue three paths:
Okay.
to a major design award, launch a crowdfunding campaign, or focus on getting featured in top publications. Now, they can only execute one strategy really well this year, but they want to set themselves up for the biggest long term career impact. Which path do you recommend, and how would you help them leverage that initial success into other two areas?
Start with crowdfunding.
Mhm.
Start with crowdfunding because A, that'll help you secure your idea and make sure that you're
Mm,
not being plagiarized by other people who beat you to it. When you share an idea on a design platform like us,
mm,
we do share a lot of concepts, but it's obvious. So do that first.
mm,
The second would be to once you've done that, maybe leverage a little bit of cash to get featured on platforms like Design Media,
mm,
and then later on go for the awards because the awards are a much more expensive bet, I would say.
mm,
And the awards do have timelines. Design Media is very fixed. Like
mm,
you send us today, we might be able to publish it earliest by tomorrow.
mm,
For the awards, you'll have to win, like for the end result to win your award so that you can put it. So that timeline might not work for you. So first crowdfund, secure your IP in however, whatever way possible. spend money on patents or copywriting or whatever, and then do step number three first, and then step number one.
So I love that you're thinking about the ecosystem approach, using each platform to strengthen the other. So thank you for that. That was a good answer. And this takes me to the next part, which is even more exciting than this because you just can't think. It's the rapid fire round. So I'm going to give you a quick question and you give me a quick answer. Okay, no
I'll
thinking.
try not being controversial, or maybe just for the views, I'll try being
Well,
controversial.
well, you were already controversial in the last statement of
No,
yours.
I'm telling you, I'm a designer first because that's what I studied, and then I am an editor in chief. So I always want to look out for the designer. Uh, if they get featured on Yanko Design and then they get plagiarized, I'm just going to be like, shit, I can't live with myself.
Okay.
So yeah,
Okay, what's more career changing? Winning a design award or getting 2 million views on Yanko Design?
2 million views on Yanko Design.
Wow.
It's mental because that has a cascading effect.
Yeah. Okay, best crowdfunding campaign story you've covered that led to bigger opportunities.
I genuinely don't remember. I've written probably like 500 to 1,000 campaign stories at this point.
Oh.
Um, what really gives me happiness is when they come back for round two and round three and round four. My job is to talk about them. I'm not really invested in their financial journey because I've got other stuff to do.
Or about the fact that they write back saying, "Oh, we loved what Sarang wrote. Thank you for the write
Oh, I
back."
absolutely that warms my heart because I'm like, if I relate to your project and if I love your project,
Uh,
that kind of will reflect in my writing. And if you notice that, then thank you. We've done what we had to do.
Okay, one service YD provides that designers don't know about but should.
One service that Yanko Design provides. Uh, the services that we provide are very in your face. I can't think of any service that is hidden away from designers.
Okay.
But yeah, I think
Yeah, I think
getting your eyeball by getting the eyeball of someone absolutely unexpected. Like imagine like Kareem Rashid opening Yanko Design and seeing your project. That is not within our control, but that can absolutely happen.
yeah, no, I think Kareem is a fan of ours.
Oh, absolutely, without
I
any
have
doubt.
interviewed.
We are awesome. We're 23 years. We're probably older than Kareem's practice.
No, but I have personally spoken to Kareem and I have interviewed him. I had a blast. I remember the story that he told me about how he had to live on his brother's apartment floor, and he was fired from one of his jobs, and as a teacher also. So he was a teacher also. So he has had a very fascinating life, and I have reached out to him for this podcast. I hope I got the reply that he no longer does podcasts, but I do hope that he does make an
Mhm.
exception and come, with
Yeah,
us.
Yanko Designs podcast is not your average podcast.
Yes.
You're
Okay.
surrounded by the people who are the most excited by your work. So Kareem, absolutely, please, if you're hearing this, uh, this is not some average person who has to do research about you. We know everything there is to know. It's going to be a very fun conversation.
Yes. Okay. So, what makes a designer media ready across platforms like awards, crowdfunding, and
Press kit, press kit,
okay.
please, please. It's not that difficult. ChatGPT will literally write the press release for you, and your images are already there. You need to just compress them.
Yes. Okay. So, most underutilized way designers can leverage award wins for ongoing coverage. What do you?
I mean, if you've won an award, that kind of opens you up to being covered, right?
Yeah.
Uh, Not necessarily first Yanko design, but a lot of times, like an Italian award will have a lot of Italian news outlets covering it with full depth.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's bound to happen. You don't really there's no underutilized or unnoticed thing over there. It is bound to happen. Our job is to keep our eyes over there, so we will notice here.
Sarang, this has been an incredible, talk with you. And for designers listening who want to build strategic recognition across platforms, what's your best starting advice for them?
share your work with us. Yeah, don't be shy to share your work. Message us on Instagram, message me on Instagram. I check my DMs a lot. A
Mm,
lot of people are like, hey, where do I send the work? I'm like, here's my email ID. Please send your work here. That's it. It can't get easier, man. You don't have to convince us to write about your thing. We want to write about your work. So there is literally no, you don't need to convince us beyond just giving us a great design.
yeah.
There is no pitching to us. There is no constantly checking back with us. I write like 4 articles a day. Trust me, I am starved. I constantly look for stuff to write about. So please, this can't be easier. Send your work to Yanko Design, publication at yankodesign.com. Send it to us on Instagram, send us links, Behance links, whatever, however you want to send it to us. But please keep sending your work. It can't get easier.
So, thanks for revealing how design recognition isn't just about talent, it's about understanding the ecosystem of
Absolutely.
awards,
Yeah, yeah.
media, crowdfunding, and strategic relationship building. And to everyone listening, whether you're submitting to awards, launching crowdfunding campaigns, or pitching to design publication, KeyShot helps you create presentations that look professional and production ready across all platforms. So when judges, backers, and editors see your photorealistic quality, it signals that you're serious about your work and ready for success. Next week, we will be exploring another conversation and with another creative lead and a designer who built a multi-million dollar studio only using recycled materials. Remember,
Ooh.
great design deserves great exposure, and great exposure requires strategic thinking across multiple platforms. See you next week. Thank you, Sarang.
Thank you.